We're going live. We are live. WinDailySports.com. NBA playoff DFS preview. I have a mullet, apparently. And I'm being joined by a guy who doesn't have a man bun today, but long hair. At Stoweby. He has the Backstreet Boys hair. That's what I'll call it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'm rocking it, man. Yeah, it does look like, doesn't it? It looks like some Backstreet Boys hair. It's nice. In a good way.
You don't want me singing any of their songs.
No, do not do that. No. Maybe you could do a table reading of their songs. That'd be a little bit better.
A la William Shatner, the spoken word albums.
Yeah. Oh my God, it's the best.
His
Van
Rocket
Pelt used
Man.
to do that on a show with the ESPN voiceover guy. He would have him read rap lyrics, and it's just the greatest thing of all time. Stoweby, we have a team in the NBA Finals. It's the Suns.
Yes, sir.
And they actually look good for the first time this series doing it.
I'm glad to see them there. The Suns have had some lean years, so I'm happy for them. I'm definitely happy
for the Steve Nash years, which I wish they would have won a title because I'm Steve Nash's biggest fan. That's my favorite NBA player. But Suns this year looking pretty. And look, it was great to see somebody like Chris Paul kind of take the reins in that kind of game because their offense has been sputtering since. Really game one, and their offense, even though they won two other games outside of game one,
it didn't look great.
Never really looked good. It looked really good, and Chris Paul was the big reason why, but it looked really good finally yesterday, and that was great to see. Heading into the NBA finals. So that was great to see. And they're obviously favorites for a reason now, for sure.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And now if either Atlanta or Milwaukee can somehow get healthy so we can get a finals that we deserve here out of all this,
we deserve.
Yeah. We haven't had this much parity in the NBA playoffs in a long time. So it's refreshing. We've had some ugly basketball the last couple of weeks, but I do like the fact that it's not the same two or three teams, year in and year out.
Yeah, and I was saying that yesterday on the show, my show, The Line Change, you can listen to. But I was saying these games haven't been enjoyable. These games have been really ugly lately, and I bet we're going to see another really ugly one tonight when the promo of the game features Chris Middleton and John bleeping Collins. So not great, not good, not good. But it was at least good yesterday to see somebody finally, and that's what I felt like I was missing. Usually in these series, especially when you get to the conference finals, I'm used to seeing a LeBron James, having these monster games. Steph Curry having these monster games. And then, we finally got Chris Paul to do it. And look, Paul George has had a couple of them, but I think it's been mostly out of necessity and the usage, has to. But finally, we saw from Chris Paul a star stepping up and acting like a damn star. And that was awesome to see.
Yeah. And that guy, I'm so glad that he got there. He's a guy that deserves it. He's been through so many injuries and he's just gutted it out. And he's just dealt with bad team after bad team after bad team. So it's fantastic to see.
Yeah. It is good to see it. Happy for Chris Paul. Absolutely. I think everybody has wanted to give Chris Paul a Pat Beverly push in the back once in a while, but I think I think everybody's changed their tune a little bit on Chris Paul. So that's a good thing. But I will say, Stoweby, before I even put up the showdown for tonight's game, I guess it's fun for showdown, but it's going to be an ugly one. This isn't going to be fun.
No. I mean, at least they got Capella back, but still no Giannis.
Really? That's where you're gonna sell me on Clint Capella.
Hey, look, I gotta go somewhere, man. I gotta hype it up somewhere. I mean, we still don't know 100% for Trey, but my lean is that he's going to be missing tonight.
I think he's going to be out too.
Yeah. I mean, Drew, Chris, and Capella, and then fit your ancillary guys is basically where most of my builds are going to be taking me to today.
Yeah, so let's get to it for tonight's showdown slates because, there's actually a few interesting ways to go here, and I think I do want to start with kind of the Chris Middleton, Drew Holiday group because Giannis is out. Now we have to go to, okay, which one of these two guys do we trust the most? And I imagine, do we put them in our captain spot here too?
It's one of those two. honestly, I'm fine with either one of them. Honestly, it's just a matter of price savings going for Holiday. I think they have similar ceilings. They both see 10 to 11% usage increases whenever Giannis isn't on the court. It's just a matter of which one's gonna do it, and I feel completely comfortable. You can fit both of them in there and still be fine.
Right. And they both have gone off in different ways. They both have had a 60-point
Mm-hmm.
game. They both have been consistently in the 30s. Drew Holiday doesn't do it with as much scoring as, let's say, Chris Middleton does, but he does it in so many different ways here. As you can see, the 61-point game where he had 33. But even look, 6 points, still 36 and a half fantasy points. This guy is able. That's why I might lean Drew Holiday, because even it's the safest one for me, just because I know I'm going to get everything else. But with Chris Middleton, yeah, he could put up 38 raw and be the highest scoring, and even in fantasy this one.
Yep, he's done it before. It's it wouldn't be the first time. I mean, the guy's been around forever. He's a damn good ball player. So
yeah. So
it's just this is so ugly.
It is because Drew Holiday, we're going between our captain between Holiday and Middleton, and that's what I don't want to do. But then you look on the other side of things too, and you're like, okay, Trae Young is out, and they need scoring. Yeah, you can look at John Collins, and I'm sure we are going to. If Clint Capella was out, I think John Collins is going to be a slam spot. But it's really these two guys. Like, which one of Herter or Bogdanovich are going to light up from downtown that you need to have in there? And I think
Bogdanovich looked really good.
He finally looked like himself.
I rewatched that second half of the game right before we came on the show, and I just want to. Bogdanovich looked fantastic. He's 100% again. I know they got that questionable tag on him, but that dude's running around like he looks. No
he looks like himself again.
And he does. And Milwaukee went flat as soon as Giannis got hurt. They couldn't stop anything on the interior. They couldn't do anything with that pick and roll. And as soon as they started cheating inside, the 3-point shooters just started going ham on them, and they were done for. You could tell they didn't want to be there. They wanted to go home as soon as he got hurt. You could just tell. So I'm hoping they rebound.
Yes, I'm hoping as well. And I think Bogdanovich, again, is a good one. But here's where, I think everybody's going to go, and why I might stay away from Lou Williams, because everybody's going to be on Lou. But the thing is he going to go 7 for 9 again? That's my worry, is that, yes, he looked great, and they need to use him as a guard, but I think they can find other ways to score outside of him. And that's why, look, I'm not seeing a lot of this guy, but, I think he could put up, and he will be asked to, like he was even last game, to just put up raw points. And I think he's going to be double digits in this one. Now, the concern with him is obviously he's just maybe going to get some rebounds, and that's it. But I think they're going to turn to him to score more, just because, you can't expect what Lou Williams did to do every single night out in the rest of the series.
You don't go almost 80% from the field
right
often. That's a one-off night, and he looked like he was hitting some of the ancillary stats. Your rebounds and assists. I guess that comes with
boards, yep.
Yeah, and that comes with taking the point guard position instead of being just a shooting guard role like he has been for all these years with the Clippers. But I mean, he has the ability to do it, obviously, but he doesn't have the body of work. So I think you make a lot of sense potentially fading Lou Will. I mean, he still could do it again, but they also priced them up, so he's not as attractive. He was 2,800 in the last game, and now he's 5,200. I honestly, I'm almost ready to. I think I'm ready to take the training wheels off of Cam Reddish. I think he's going to get around 30 minutes tonight.
Nice.
I'm ready to go there. He looked really good. He was active inside. He was participating in the pick and roll, driving in, and without Giannis there underneath to stop anybody, PJ Tucker, he's not, you know what I mean? He's not stopping any of these guys from driving. I know he's a defensive guy, but you got the number one pick and roll offense in the NBA. They're not going to be able to do anything to stop that.
Right. And if you look at, when he is able to get these minutes, and even at 23, at 27, but when he's able to get the minutes, it's obviously there. And I think he's going to, has been obviously not playing much in the playoffs, but I think this is the game. Obviously you're right. I think Cam Reddish, perfect spot for him to do that. but I think we're both definitely on the fade Lou Will tonight. And
Yeah,
I mentioned that because I see it in every lineup, Lou Williams in some way, but I think everybody's going to have Lou.
Yeah, and I talked about him. I have talked about Lou Will. And he's in a good spot, but like you said, he's always been a scorer. Can we expect him to repeat? 80% from the floor and shooting 10 to 12 shots and then getting the assist and rebounds. It seems like 5,200. That doesn't leave a lot of room for error.
Yeah, so I guess now the question is, with Giannis out, you said you rewatched the second half. What did you see in the second half? Like, was there somebody you saw more of? The way they ran their offensive sets different? I feel like I saw a lot more Bobby Portis.
We did see a lot of Bobby Portis, yep. And Bobby Portis is going to be really popular tonight.
Yeah, I imagine so.
Yeah, he is the direct plug and play for Milwaukee with Giannis being out. So that does make the most sense. And now, honestly, they were quickly into desperation mode. They were taking terrible shots. Their offense didn't look good. I don't think that second half of the game is. I know that on the defensive side, not being able to guard the pick and roll and everything, that just comes from Giannis not being there, and I expect that to continue. But I don't expect them to come out flat and play the way they did in the second half of that game. They've done it before. They played without Giannis before. I know it's a big hit, but I think it was in the middle of a pivotal game, and you could just tell it messed them up, and they needed a couple of days to kind of take a breath and take a step back. So I really can't judge the offense on what it did in that second half of the game.
Yeah, and Brook Lopez really hasn't done much in this series, and kind of has been, you have to fade him. Does it change at all? Because they need whatever they can get scoring wise, and Brook Lopez is, it's not a great matchup for him, and that's where, the concern comes. But you would have to maybe expect him to get more involved here. Does it entice you at all at 6K? The matchup's not great, but, he might see the floor more than he has this series.
He might see the floor a little bit more, but
just don't see where the offense is going to come from.
Yeah. 6K is still too much, even in this scenario, in my opinion. I just don't think it's another scenario just like Lou Will. I don't think there's a lot of meat on the bone. Maybe he gets you, 5 times or 6 times your value, but that's as much as you're going to get out of that. I'd rather pay down and go ahead and get, like Middleton, Drew, and then get, either Collins or Capella and go ahead and load up on those high price guys and just pay down a little bit more for somebody like Reddish, or Portis or somebody like that. It's just, I'm not going to have any Robin or any Brook Lopez in my lineups.
Does Clint Capella intrigue you? Like, what does Giannis now do for? Yeah, I guess what does Giannis do for the inside presence? Obviously, kind of leaves a little bit of a void, doesn't it?
Yeah, they were running that inside pick and roll where they were just lobbing it to Capella, and even when they knew it was coming, they couldn't stop it. So I expect them to continue that. They did it like 3 plays in a row, and all 3 times. The first time they didn't know it was coming, but the next 2 they did, and they still couldn't stop it. There's just PJ Tucker's not stopping Clint Capella. So and don't play Clint Capella or PJ Tucker. I'm sorry.
No, do not play PJ Tucker. Yes. Do not play PJ Tucker. I will absolutely put a stamp of approval on that one.
If you play that, it's on you.
But even as you can tell right here, like usually with showdowns, and at least in the Suns and Clippers showdown, this seems like the strategy is different for this game, because Suns and Clippers, we knew about 2 or 3 guys on each team that were likely going to light it up. Marcus Morris was one of them. It was Morris, Reggie Jackson, Paul George, DeAndre Ayton, Chris Paul, Devin Booker. Like, those are the only guys you could really look at. You got to figure out what combination, and then just get the cheapest players you can find, like a Dario Saric, and put in your lineups to fill the gaps. This seems like a little bit different of a build because, I have one player that's 3,200, but the rest here, as you can see, like this looks like it's going to be, you're going to find your differences in kind of the mid-tier here.
Yep, absolutely. And that was my thought. There's a lot of different directions that people can go tonight. I wouldn't expect to see too many chop pots unless the unless the chalk just completely goes off and you have like 500 people up there. But it's more than likely we're going to be looking at a bunch of random one-offs and a bunch of these mid-range guys, somebody that we're not thinking of. Somebody might, put Huerter up in the captain spot or something like that and take down a big GPP. It'll be some.
Yeah. Are there any contrarian plays like that? Because Drew Holiday, I mean, honestly, it's going to be, I think, a mix of Drew Holiday, Chris Middleton in the captain spot. But is there anything more? And that's already being different. Like you already, I think, are being a little bit different, whatever combination. Because do you have to have a contrarian play in this one in the captain spot? Because it seems like there can be so many that you can consider contrarian play.
Oh yeah, there a ton of these mid-range guys. I mean, let me see. Let me look here. I actually have a few of them pulled up. Yeah, like I said, Huerter is one that I've been looking at as a potentially as a little sneaky captain. Cam Reddish. I mentioned Cam Reddish because I'm really eyeing putting him up there in the captain spot, as I guarantee he's going to be low owned. People are going to be, people are going to want to put him in the util spot. I don't see too many. There's plenty of mid-range salary savings around where you can put your studs up in the captain spot. So part of me thinks I want to opt to go with somebody like a Reddish, somebody with that upside that could go off and just leave a little bit of extra salary on the table to kind of differentiate everything else. And I don't know, that I keep going back to him. That's the guy that I keep going back to. Huerter and Reddish.
Bobby's got Reddish here.
Yep.
Yeah, and this seems like the kind of lineup that exactly, except for Trey. I don't think we can have Trey. I mean, are you at least putting Trey in one lineup, like just in case? Like, what are you doing for that?
I'll have a dummy build ready for with the news that he might play. A have one already set up so I can just swap a few of the lines around so I can get some exposure to Trey if he plays. So that's not really a huge issue.
Because that would break. I mean, obviously, if Trae Young plays, if you don't have Trae Young in one of those lineups, that's probably going to end up being a loser, I would assume.
Oh yeah. He'll end up going off for like 70 DK points and just completely ruin you in that scenario. So if he plays, I am going to have some shares of him. I mean, I'm not going to go 100% just because of the injury concern, but I will have some exposure.
So let's just say this: Trae. If you are doing a Trae Young build, are you putting him in the captain spot, like that kind of thing? Like go all in on one build where you go all in on Trae Young being the focal point of your lineup?
That's interesting. I didn't give any thought to that until that'd be an interesting take. If Trey
like obviously this is just the like hedging your lineups and like making sure you at least have one. Now, obviously, captain spot, not sure. Like if that's going too far or if that's really going to be contrarian enough. But yeah.
Yeah, and I don't usually when people are coming off of injuries like this, a lot of times the utility percentage will be high, but they'll be really low on that captain percentage.
And especially with the way he plays.
Yeah. And I do understand that train of thought does make a lot of sense as far as hedging, because if you're going to play Trey and he goes off, and I mean, if he doesn't do anything in the utility spot, you're dead in the water anyway. So if he goes off, if he goes ham in the captain spot, and you're separating yourself from the field. So I do like that. I do like that mindset.
Awesome. And also a different kind of mindset to think about when looking at this game, the betting mindset. Who you got? Who you got?
And even with all that talk with Atlanta or with Milwaukee not being able to slow down the pick and roll, I still think they kind of right the ship tonight. I think they come out and play a little bit more inspired. They know they got embarrassed in the second half. They've played well during stretches without Giannis through the entire season.
It feels like they can react more or create a game plan around Giannis not being there. To do it on the fly, that's really difficult to do. That is.
Oh yeah. Especially in a high pressure situation like this, I guarantee you they were just like, you got to be kidding me. I mean, that made me sick when I saw that when I saw him land. I don't want to see that happen to anybody. So I can imagine how his players, how his teammates feel. So I think they can get a game plan together. They've done it before. As long as it's just, a game or two, they can still play competitive ball and win some games. So I think Milwaukee will go ahead and take it tonight.
I am not betting any spread. I can't do it. So I'm going to stay completely away from that. But Bogdanovich is 15.5 for his points. I like that. Kevin
I
Huerter,
do too,
13.5. I think you can just take a shot on those guys because they are going to in any way try and light up the scoreboard. And I mean, you're on the road in Milwaukee without your best player. Your best scoring option's gone. So basically, I think on the road, they're just going to try and absolutely outshoot them from three and just rain down threes. Do they make them all? Probably not. But I think they make enough to go over. I would look at Bogdanovich and Herter's props over everything.
Oh yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I didn't check out their individual player props, so just thinking of the game.
Right.
I really like the way Bogdanovich.
He looked great.
He
finally, yes, he looked phenomenal. He did.
Yeah, so I'm probably gonna have him in most, if not all, of my lineups tonight. That healthy Bogdan is nasty, and you have Trey's usage out of the way. He's gonna go nuts.
Absolutely. All right, so that is it for the NBA playoff DFS preview. Everybody enjoy the game tonight, Hawks and Bucks.
Happy Bobby Bonilla Day.
Happy Bobby Bonilla Day. Happy Bobby Bonilla Day.
That man.
What a story.
Just how many more years does he have?
Till 2032
or 2035. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That is incredible. Good job.
If anybody wants to pay me to do that, look, my win daily buyout is going to be for probably $1.12 instead of a million, 1.2 mil. So $1.20. That's what my buyout's going to be at Win Daily Sports. All right, that's it for us. We'll be back tomorrow, probably just reacting to this game, maybe looking at futures and baseball. I don't know.
Ooh.
NFL. Am I allowed to say that yet?
Look,
NFL?
You're always allowed to say that
NFL?
Around me. I don't stop
NFL?
thinking about NFL. NFL.
Don't tell Brian in the Discord chat. Do not do that. But we might talk NFL tomorrow. We might do it all right here. WinDailySports.com. We'll be back tomorrow, 5 o'clock, right here, 5 Eastern, WinDailySports.com. And also, before July 4th comes, we have a promo. 2 months of gold. 2 months of gold for $44.44.
Yep. Jump on it.
Not
Can't
bad. And all you got to do,
bad.
and look, to find the link, either go at Win Daily Sports on Twitter. It's right there for you. Or go to WinDailySports.com, and it is right at the top in this beautiful, nice little graphic. 2 months of gold, $44.44. It is a great deal. And also, the Monkey Knife Fight promotion that we always have, you can check out as well. Plenty of promotions going on at Win Daily Sports. If you haven't signed up yet, what in the bleeping hell are you waiting for?
It's free money, man.
It's free money. I see it in the Discord chat every day. And probably going to see some of the Discord chat tonight. Maybe it could be my guy Swerve here. Maybe it could be Dennis. Maybe it could be Sia Najad. Maybe it could be Bobby. It could be any one of you. Just sign up, WinDailySports.com. That is it for us. We'll be back tomorrow here on Win Daily Sports.